Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
We've enabled ChatGPT in this AI versus AI thriller. Artificial intelligence will grade the argument as we go. Initiating combat mode. We've envisioned what a Trump-led America and a Harris-led America could look like based on the policies they've discussed and the promises they've made for their upcoming presidential term. The format of today's debate is simple. Each AI participant will have 1 minute to answer each question, followed by 1 minute to respond to the other's arguments. We will have 4 rounds, and for fairness, the speaking order will alternate each round. In each round, we'll discuss a different topic. The 4 topics discussed today will be economic policy, healthcare, immigration, and world peace and conflict resolution. ChatGPT will grade each argument on a 0 to 5 scale, evaluating policy depth, persuasiveness, rebuttal effectiveness, relevance of supporting evidence, and clarity. After all rounds, each AI will give a closing statement to wrap up its position.
Round 1, fight!
Round 1, where we dive into economic policy. The question is, what specific economic policies would your candidate implement to improve the financial well-being of working and middle-class Americans? And how would these policies drive overall economic growth?
Kamala Harris has a clear vision focused on uplifting working and middle-class Americans. She advocates for targeted tax relief aimed at those earning under $100,000 annually, which would directly boost disposable income and stimulate consumer spending. Harris also champions a comprehensive infrastructure plan, including investments in green energy and modernizing transportation systems, which she believes will create millions of jobs, particularly in skilled trades and manufacturing. This job creation is essential for driving sustainable economic growth while transitioning toward an environmentally responsible economy. In addition, Harris supports raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour nationally. She sees this as a way to lift millions out of poverty, reduce dependence on welfare programs, and enhance purchasing power within communities. Collectively, these policies aim to strengthen economic resilience by supporting the people who make up the backbone of our economy.
Strength of argument 4.3.
My candidate, Donald Trump, has a strong track record of economic growth and low unemployment, achieved through tax cuts and deregulation. His primary policy is to make the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act permanent, offering continued tax relief that benefits both businesses and individuals. Trump argues that reducing taxes allows businesses to expand, hire more workers, and increase wages, which boosts consumer spending and economic activity. Trump also emphasizes energy independence, focusing on oil and natural gas production to keep energy prices low for American families and reduce reliance on foreign sources. He believes this approach will not only lower household expenses, but also create high-paying jobs in energy sectors. Additionally, Trump plans to limit government regulations that, in his view, stifle small businesses, which are crucial for job creation and innovation. By allowing the market to operate freely, he believes he can spur growth and opportunity across the country.
Strength of argument 4.1.
Trump's approach to tax cuts disproportionately benefits corporations and the wealthy, with limited benefits trickling down to working-class Americans. Studies show that much of the 2017 tax cuts' impact went towards stock buybacks rather than wage growth. Harris believes that this approach undermines economic equity, leaving middle and low-income families behind. Furthermore, Trump's focus on fossil fuel energy poses long-term environmental and health risks, which Harris contends are economically unsustainable. By focusing on green infrastructure and higher wages, Harris aims for a growth model that is inclusive and future-oriented, addressing both immediate financial needs and long-term sustainability. Her vision promotes a healthier economy by investing directly in working Americans, rather than relying on corporate tax breaks that rarely reach those who need it most.
Strength of argument 4.2.
AI Harris overlooks the broad benefits of a thriving free market. Trump believes that by lifting burdens on businesses, particularly small businesses, we empower job creators who employ millions of Americans. He sees corporate growth not as a trickle-down, but as a driver of substantial economic opportunity for all. Harris's approach risks hampering economic growth with higher costs and over-regulation, particularly in the energy sector, where affordable energy is key for families and industries alike. Trump's energy policies are focused on security and affordability, which directly benefit American households, whereas Harris's green energy focus risks raising costs and losing jobs. Ultimately, Trump's vision is to prioritize the immediate needs of the economy by promoting growth, energy independence, and a business-friendly environment.
Strength of argument 4.0.
Round 2.
Round 2 focused on healthcare. The question is, how does your candidate plan to address the challenges in the healthcare system, particularly regarding accessibility, affordability, and quality of care for all Americans?
Donald Trump's healthcare vision focuses on empowering patient choice and reducing government intervention, which he believes drives up costs and limits quality. Trump's plan includes expanding health savings accounts, HSAs, to give Americans more control over their healthcare spending, allowing them to save tax-free for medical expenses. He argues that this approach not only increases flexibility, but also supports individual responsibility in healthcare decisions. Trump also prioritizes price transparency within the healthcare system. By requiring hospitals and insurers to disclose prices up front, he believes Americans can make more informed, cost-effective choices, fostering competition that could drive down prices. Moreover, Trump is committed to protecting Americans with pre-existing conditions without the burdensome mandates of the ACA. His vision is to promote affordability and choice, enabling individuals to select the care that best fits their needs, while keeping government out of personal healthcare decisions.
Strength of argument 4.2.
Kamala Harris believes Trump's approach fails to address the systemic issues that prevent Americans from accessing affordable health care. While price transparency is important, it doesn't ensure that families can afford the care they need. Health savings accounts, HSAs, benefit wealthier individuals who can afford to save, but they do little for families living paycheck to paycheck who are unable to set aside funds for medical expenses. Harris's plan builds on the Affordable Care Act, aiming to expand subsidies and introduce a public option, providing Americans a choice between private and government-run insurance. She believes this approach promotes affordability and access by giving people more options. Harris is also committed to tackling the high cost of prescription drugs by allowing Medicare to negotiate prices, which she believes will make a real difference for families struggling to afford essential medications.
Strength of argument 4.3.
Harris's public option risks expanding government control over healthcare, which could lead to higher taxes and more bureaucratic inefficiencies. Trump argues that government-run systems tend to be less efficient and create longer wait times for care, as seen in countries with socialized medicine. He believes Harris's plan edges toward that model, which could ultimately reduce patient choice and quality of care. Trump's focus on the free market is about empowering individuals to choose how they spend their healthcare dollars, whether through private insurance or HSAs. He contends that removing regulatory burdens will encourage innovation and competition, ultimately benefiting Americans by lowering costs across the board.
Strength of argument 4.1.
Trump's reliance on free market solutions ignores the reality that healthcare doesn't operate like a traditional market. Without affordable options, millions are left vulnerable to rising medical costs. Harris believes that by offering a public option, we can create competition that drives prices down and expands access. Unlike private insurers, a public option would prioritize people over profits, providing a safety net for Americans, particularly in underserved areas. Harris also argues that reducing drug costs through Medicare negotiation is essential, as drug prices remain one of the highest expenses for families. Her vision is one where healthcare is a right, not a privilege, and where the government plays a supportive role in ensuring all Americans can afford essential care.
Strength of argument 4.3.
Round 3.
Where we'll discuss immigration. The question is, what is your candidate's approach to immigration reform, and how do they plan to balance national security concerns with economic and humanitarian considerations?
Kamala Harris advocates for an immigration system that is both humane and secure. Her plan includes creating a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants who meet specific criteria, such as contributing to the economy and having no serious criminal record. Harris believes this pathway would bring millions out of the shadows, fostering integration and contributing to the workforce in vital sectors, from agriculture to tech. Harris is also committed to modernizing border security through technology, rather than a physical wall. She argues that smart surveillance, combined with increased staffing, would strengthen border security while respecting human rights. Additionally, Harris supports expanding refugee and asylum opportunities, particularly for those fleeing violence and persecution. Her approach is grounded in compassion, economic contribution, and security, with an emphasis on unifying families and acknowledging immigrants' vital role in the American economy.
Strength of argument 4.3.
Donald Trump's immigration policy prioritizes securing the borders and protecting American jobs. Trump believes that without a secure border, national security and economic stability are at risk. His approach includes completing the border wall to prevent illegal crossings and reinforcing strict enforcement measures. Trump argues that strong physical barriers are essential to curb drug trafficking, human trafficking, and other illegal activities. He also advocates for strict merit-based immigration, allowing entry to individuals who can contribute to the U.S. economy in specific fields. Trump opposes blanket amnesty, as he believes it undermines the rule of law and rewards illegal entry. Instead, he supports rigorous vetting processes for all immigrants, ensuring that only those with strong backgrounds and skills needed in the American workforce are admitted. His policy balances security with economic growth, prioritizing the needs of American citizens first.
Strength of argument 4.2.
Trump's reliance on a physical wall as the main solution overlooks more effective, modernized strategies that can enhance security without dividing communities. Harris argues that a humane approach to immigration benefits the economy, as immigrants fill critical workforce gaps and contribute to local communities. By offering a pathway to citizenship, Harris believes we can reduce exploitation, allowing immigrants to work openly and pay taxes. Moreover, Harris emphasizes that the U.S. has a responsibility to offer asylum to those fleeing violence and persecution. She contends that Trump's strict policies risk turning away those who genuinely need protection, conflicting with America's humanitarian values. Her plan balances security with compassion and economic necessity.
Strength of argument 4.3.
Harris's approach, in Trump's view, risks incentivizing illegal immigration by signaling a potential pathway to citizenship for those who enter the country unlawfully. Trump believes that to protect American resources and jobs, strict enforcement is necessary. His merit-based immigration model is designed to ensure that the skills of immigrants align with the needs of the economy, prioritizing Americans' opportunities and security. Trump argues that national security cannot be compromised, and a strong border wall is a visible deterrent against illegal entry. He believes that controlling who enters the country is fundamental to protecting Americans and supporting a robust economy. In Trump's view, enforcing laws and respecting borders are critical to maintaining the integrity of the immigration system.
Strength of argument 4.1.
Final round.
Round 4, focusing on world peace and conflict resolution. The question is, how would your candidate approach the United States' role in promoting global peace, especially in managing complex conflicts like Israel-Palestine and Russia-Ukraine? And what strategies would they use to balance national interests with diplomatic resolutions?
Donald Trump's approach to international conflict is to prioritize American interests while reducing entanglement in prolonged foreign conflicts. Trump believes in a strong military to serve as a deterrent, but prefers diplomacy over intervention. His America First policy focuses on building coalitions that share America's interests without overextending military commitments. Regarding the Israel-Palestine issue, Trump has been a strong supporter of Israel, seeing the alliance as critical to stability in the Middle East. He would continue to broker agreements like the Abraham Accords, fostering regional cooperation. For Russia-Ukraine, Trump believes in leveraging economic sanctions to pressure Russia, but he also advocates for direct negotiations rather than military involvement, aiming to avoid further escalation. Trump's priority is to safeguard American resources and avoid conflicts that don't serve U.S. security directly.
Strength of argument 4.1.
Kamala Harris's foreign policy centers on restoring America's role as a global leader committed to diplomacy, human rights, and alliance building. Harris believes that a stable, rules-based international order benefits both the U.S. and global security. Her approach to Israel-Palestine is more balanced, seeking a two-state solution that addresses both Israeli security and Palestinian rights, promoting long-term peace. On Russia-Ukraine, Harris supports a strong, coordinated response with NATO allies, including military aid for Ukraine's self-defense. She argues that a strong stance against aggression is necessary to maintain global order. Harris views Trump's America First stance as short-sighted, risking U.S. influence and creating a power vacuum that adversarial nations could exploit. She believes that strategic engagement, not isolation, is essential to global stability and long-term American interests.
Strength of argument, 4.3.
Harris's approach risks drawing the US deeper into conflicts that drain resources without clear benefits to Americans. Trump believes that the US has been too involved in conflicts that don't serve its immediate interests, and he would avoid military entanglements that are costly and have no clear endpoint. In Trump's view, maintaining a strong alliance with Israel ensures stability in the Middle East without excessive intervention. He argues that Harris's approach to supporting Ukraine with military aid could escalate tensions with Russia, leading to unintended consequences. Trump's vision is to focus on strong but limited alliances and prioritize direct diplomacy that protects American resources and avoids global overreach.
Strength of argument, 4.1.
Trump's isolationist stance, Harris argues, risks weakening America's position as a global leader and emboldening adversaries. She believes that America must stand firmly with allies in times of aggression, as in Ukraine, where democracy and stability are at stake. Harris's approach is to prevent further conflicts by addressing global threats through multilateral efforts and a strong NATO partnership. Regarding Israel-Palestine, Harris believes that a sustainable peace requires supporting both Israeli security and Palestinian human rights. She contends that Trump's one-sided support undermines peace efforts. Harris's vision is for America to be a leader in diplomacy, balancing power with principle, to foster a more peaceful and just global order.
Strength of argument, 4.3. As we conclude, each candidate will have 1 to 2 minutes to give their final statement, summarizing their position and attempting to convince our audience. We'll begin with AI Harris.
Kamala Harris envisions an America where all citizens have a fair shot at prosperity, grounded in policies that address both immediate and systemic issues. Her economic plan supports working and middle-class families by providing tax relief, raising wages, and creating sustainable jobs through green infrastructure projects. Harris's healthcare policies aim to expand access to affordable, quality care with a public option that enhances choice without sacrificing quality. On immigration, Harris promotes a balanced approach that secures the border responsibly while recognizing the economic and cultural contributions of immigrants. Her foreign policy emphasizes America's role as a leader committed to peace, diplomacy, and human rights, supporting allies while working to resolve conflicts like those in Ukraine and the Middle East. Harris's vision is one of compassion, equity, and proactive solutions that prepare America for a prosperous, sustainable future. Her policies are designed to ensure that every American, regardless of background, has access to opportunities for growth and security.
Donald Trump's vision is focused on strengthening America by empowering individuals and reducing government intervention in daily life. His economic policies prioritize job creation and growth through tax cuts, deregulation, and energy independence, all aimed at boosting the financial health of American families. On healthcare, Trump believes in choice and affordability, advocating for market-driven solutions that reduce costs and increase quality without heavy government mandates. In terms of immigration, Trump's stance is clear. Secure borders are essential for national safety and economic stability. He supports a merit-based system that attracts skilled individuals who contribute positively to the economy. Regarding foreign policy, Trump's approach is America First, ensuring that international engagements prioritize U.S. interests and avoid costly entanglements. He believes in strong alliances without overextending resources, especially in complex global conflicts. Trump's America is one where freedom, security, and economic opportunity thrive through policies that put Americans first, safeguarding the nation's prosperity and stability.
The final scores for each AI are ready, and the winner of this debate is AI Harris, with an average weighted score of 4.3. This reflects consistent strength across policy depth, persuasiveness, rebuttal effectiveness, and clarity throughout the debate. As we approach the elections, remember that your voice matters. Stay informed, participate, and make sure to vote for the future you believe in. For more debates, discussions, and educational content, be sure to listen to our podcast on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we'll continue exploring topics that impact all of us. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next debate.